This is Sergia, Louise Anderson. I'm excited to go on an interview live with Piotr Kopacz today. So get your questions ready. He is a very talented circus artist, all sorts of different apparatuses. He has done everything from straps to acrobatics to hand and hand balancing type work. To pole work. So we're going to get a really cool, interesting look into how pole dance relates into what he does. He is out in Dubai, but I'm excited to hear his story from getting started. So Peter, as soon as I see you here, go ahead and tap to join the live and we'll get started chatting to you. While we're waiting, if you are a beginner pole dancer just in your first couple years of training, or you're just starting out, or even on the outside looking in saying, wow, this is cool stuff, head on over to my profile. There is a free class in my bio for you. So tell me where y'all from joining us here this morning in California, but this evening in other places, I think, for Peter. I'm going to go ahead and bring him on right now. Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Hi, Peter. How's it going?
Hello. Very good. Very good. How are you?
Good. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
For me, it's evening, but yeah.
That's
Hello.
And you are out in Dubai, correct?
No, currently I'm on a vacation because it's a low season in Dubai. It's super hot. Summer is crazy, so it's time for traveling. And yeah, currently I'm at home, spending time with my family.
Where's home?
Poland, Kielce. It's a small city. I'm sure you don't know.
Oh. So what is family for you? So you are in Dubai for a lot of the year. On the off season, you have...
Sorry, can you repeat?
Yeah. So what is family to you? Like who is there in you when you go to visit home?
Well, my parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in Dubai, are you mostly working as a circus artist there? Is that what brought you to Dubai?
Um, I've been there since first time 2014. In total, around 5 years. But I'm not only a performer; I'm also coaching and also creating some shows. So it all depends. Many different things over the years I've done. Currently, I'm freelancing, so it's a bit different. Before I was doing contracts, so it was also a different kind of work.
So I'm excited to hear about what freelancing is for you. As you're saying, are you in the process of creating a show? Are you teaching?
Well, at the moment, like I said, it's a low season, so I'm in a holiday period of time. But freelancing for me, it's mostly dinner shows. Um, Dubai is full of that currently. So I do many different dinner shows and also events, private and corporate events.
Wonderful. Now,
Yes.
so instead of being on that contract situation, you're just kind of going gig to gig in that freelance.
Yeah, before I used to, the last contract I did, it was La Pearl. So it was one of the Franco Dragon shows. So that was the contract. So it's like well, on this particular contract, it's 6 days a week or 5 days a week work. It was a water show, including many different disciplines. And
Yes.
it was actually where I used to, because I did the creation with Franco Dragon, which was always my dream from before. And this is where I actually learned pole during the creation. But it didn't start from like normal pole, it was Chinese pole. And then we started doing more aerial pole. It's still a bit different than the normal regular pole, which is slippery. Even still, I use a tape pole. It's a bit different, especially when it's aerial. It can be slippery. So, and with humidity in Dubai, it's really hard.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So fantastic. So you were on like kind of the creation of that show itself. What was that like being in that first cast?
Well, definitely being an OG, it's incredible. We are the way also Franco Dragon work is he creates the show based on the artists he have, not he don't have the first idea before he works with the artists he have, so it was built around us. And yeah, definitely Franco is he created really like the biggest shows for Cirque du Soleil, and I don't know if you know, but then he opened his own company, and he's continuing his piece of art. So yeah, the creation was amazing because we learn a lot of stuff, and we also can observe. And for me, it was very important to watch him, what he did, how he works, and I always try to catch piece by piece for myself for the future to do to create the shows as well. Yeah.
Wonderful. That is so neat. After having been, a part of the process of creating shows with him, that forward to someday or even now, are you in a situation where you are creating?
I'm mostly performing. I love performing still, so for me it's my priority, and I'm creating my own acts. Of course, that's what I'm focusing. But I have some singular events that did create over the last year or two in Dubai. Yeah.
Awesome. So tell me about Peter as a boy and how fell in love with circus. What brought you to that? What disciplines did you study? Were you a gymnast before you moved into that world? Paint us a picture of what that.
So my background was tumbling, which I started around when I was 13. And I was a member of Polish tumbling team as a junior and a senior. I participated in World Cup Area Open Championships. So that was my background. This is what I used to do, which has nothing to do with what I do currently, but definitely prepared my body for what I do now. So yeah, this is how I started. And actually, circus wasn't really, I didn't know about it much since I was already adult because I started performing when I was 23, so quite late. My first performance kind of was, there is a tour around Germany called Gym Motion, and we were invited as a national team of Poland to do tumbling show as one of the acts through the show. So this is how it started. And when when I went there and I saw what kind of life it is, I knew at that moment that that's what I want to do. Because I was at the moment studying. I'm also a physiotherapist, and which I also finished my degree. But after a bit of work, I decided that art is what I want to do, and I worked really hard to get where I am now.
Yeah. So that first time when the team was invited to perform, how old were you then?
Um, 21 or 22, because it was just a week of performance. And then really I started performing when I was 23 because, it was still tumbling, so it was more like a competition. But I felt a little sparkle of art at this moment. So,
So what did that mean for you? Did that mean leaving home and actually going after a performance career?
actually, I left home quite early because I left when I was 13 to go to like National Center of Acrobatics in Poland, which was like 500 kilometers away from my home. So I left my home quite early. And yeah, so yeah, I left quite early. So I learned how to be independent quite in a young age. So for me to go abroad later and go away from home wasn't a big challenge.
So when you got the bug, you were in that show with the time, and you were like, wow, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to go after. What was the move from there? What was the first thing that you went after that happened? And did anyone else from your team decide to go in that direction as well?
Actually, no, I was the only one
Wow.
who went with this direction, and I just decided that I want to learn more stuff than just tumbling, because that in acrobatics you either do tumbling, trampoline, or sport acrobatics. It's not like gymnastics. You do many different apparatus. It's different. So of course, it was my priority first to perform as a tumbler, because I saw in other shows of Cirque du Soleil like Allegria or La Nuba in Orlando. So that was my dream. But through the time, I started working on different things, even the flexibility, because I was a tumbler. I was not flexible at all. And but when you really want something and you want to improve, everything is possible. So I started working on a little on the handstands, flexibility, and then day by day, I also went for another contract later when I noticed aerial straps, and it still is my main specialty. So yeah, I watched one person that I really like and bought my own straps, and I focused on that. But it was already after I finished my studies. Yeah.
So tell me about the journey through all the disciplines that you do. So tumbler, and then because I see that you have everything from, you know, obviously tumbling to acrobatics to straps. I also saw you doing a lot of like diving in some of your with the circus. And
so
now,
to go with timeline, how it went.
Yeah.
First, it was aerial straps after tumbling and hand-to-hand as a flyer. So this is what I focused mostly. And with these two skills, I went first time to Middle East, to Abu Dhabi, to Ferrari World. And yes, and after that, this contract in Ferrari World, I did a cast changeover for the House of Dancing Water in Belgium for Macau show, another dragon show, the most successful and the most beautiful one. And there I learned diving as well, and also like acro dancing, bungee, harness. Although I twisted my knee and I never went to Macau, so I came back home without job, with injury. Not a good time at this moment, but I never stopped. So I received offer for Celebrity Cruises as a specialty act on straps, and I pursued that. I went on this contract, which was also amazing, and it was another creation. Many contracts I did in my life was creation, so I was very happy about it, because I like to create, and like I said, take some pieces for myself and it be integrated into the creating piece. So yeah, what I start as Celebrity Cruises, yeah. And I received offer from another dragon show, La Pearl. And I went for this creation, yes. And this is where I start learning pole, Chinese pole, aerial pole, swinging rings, even bungee straps. We learn everything, because when you do creation, they try you in every piece. I even tried slackline because they tried everyone. Although I didn't pursue that, it was totally not my style. So, but to start with what I do, it's first tumbling, then aerial straps, hand-to-hand as a flyer, then aerial pole, bungee straps, high dives, banking, and hand balancing. So what I mostly specialize now is straps, normal static straps, and bungee. Pole, it can be static, and on the floor it can be aerial pole, and hand balancing, and also I'm a flyer still as in handstands.
Hand to hand, yeah, handstands. Okay, well, first of all, just because we're talking to kind of a large audience here, don't know what explain banking.
Sorry, I didn't hear.
Banking. Will you explain?
Banking. When two porters grab their hands and they push you up. Yeah, I can't really do it now because I'm holding my phone. From heat pump. So obviously, I was the one flying, and I did it in La Pearl, so I was pushed to the water. Yeah, my tumbling skills, of course, help with that. because I just needed to move my specialty from tumbling floor to another person hands. And yeah.
Just okay, so two questions for you. One is, out of all the disciplines you do, I know this is a really impossible question, so I know this might be a little bit hard, but your favorite? Do you have a favorite?
I have my three favorite. That's why I still do them, which is straps, pole, and hand balance. They're
And
all
why?
different, completely different, and I like having a couple different apparatus that I can work on and get better. You know, it's I can't just do one apparatus. I like to have variety. Also, it's different kind of art, and to express art, it's better with different apparatus. But this is the one I mostly focus on. Currently, I'm gonna start also aerial rope. I started many years ago, but because of the contracts in Dragon, I didn't have time to keep training. But now my goal for the new season in Dubai is to make an act on aerial pole, aerial rope. Sorry.
Rope.
Yeah.
Okay, so also then, on that same token, there are a lot of things you do that have high risks. What would you say out of all of them tend to give you the most fear, that you get most like excited about, kind of scared of? Like, do you have one that is more that you feel that way about?
Well, aerial pole, because I have no safety during the act, it's definitely dangerous, and I always go up quite high with it. Although I feel sure about my grip, especially, so it's fine. Like the more still, I think tumbling was one of the most difficult things I did. It's dangerous, and also high dive, because in upper I used to high dive from 16 meters to the pool, which is incredibly high. But I have to say it was always an amazing feeling. So of course you not go directly to 16 meters. It's always step by step, and it's kind of control that it's easy to have when you are a gymnast. So yeah, that was if I would have to say what was the most dangerous, definitely tumbling and high diving. But currently what I do, I would say aerial pole, because there is no safety.
And when you mean there's no safety in comparison to something like straps, tell me about.
Yes, because on straps I will have something on my arms that stops my hand. And with the pole, I just hold the pole, obviously, with my palms. So that's all the safety. My grip is my safety.
Right.
Yes. And
Okay.
hand balancing, I do in canes who are 1 meter 20, which are 1 meter 20. So it's still quite high, although I feel quite comfortable with that.
Yeah, I'm actually curious. Talking about slacklining is one of the from what I hear, so many of your disciplines have this trust in arms and grip and that upper body strength.
Mm-hmm.
The slacklining, because it was more of a foot situation.
Yes, exactly. It's
Yes, I knew it.
I mean, not only that, it's so street style, which is completely not my style. And of course, if I would pursue it and keep training, I would get used to it. But it was just to try, and it was not my thing. I didn't like it, so I decided to focus another apparatus.
Interesting.
Yeah. And slackline, if done wrong, it's very dangerous. Can hurt you quickly,
Yeah.
hit you also, hit your skin, and yeah. So there is no joke.
Yeah. I'm actually wondering.
Because we were starting first on sitting. I wasn't even standing. Standing is maybe just walking, but no jumping. So it was sitting or laying on your chest and tie. So this is how we were starting. But I didn't move forward with that.
Yeah. Um, this just makes me think, just out of total curiosity. So when you're doing partner acrobatics, would it be correct for me that you'd rather be in a hand-to-hand than a foot-to-hand?
Foot to hands?
Would you rather be like in a hand-to-hand handstand rather than have your feet on someone's hands? Do you feel more comfortable?
Definitely hand to
Yeah.
hand, yeah. Because I can actually still control it with my
Yeah.
own palms.
Yes.
So yeah.
When you've got your feet in someone's hand, you don't have much
It's
control,
easy to pop.
a lot of trust.
But of course, when you are with a good porter, he always knows not to do what to do, and it's very important to trust your partner. Without that, there's no way to work together. So trust is crucial in this kind of acrobatic
And
element.
speaking on trust, so when you are, doing these big, dangerous, and disciplines, tell me about the building trust with a partner that you're working with. It's kind of like you can't just work with a new partner and just assume something. You have to like work up to that. So tell me a little bit about that process. I'm sure that you've had to quickly change partners in different situations when you're in creative process, right?
Not so much, not so much. My first partner, we started in Poland. He was already my good friend, so I usually work with people who we were friends. So I think it's always about training and repetition and getting. There is about the connection and two people, and especially when you, I think, feel when you are friends with someone, it's always better and easier and more enjoyable to do it. So I would say just it's as in every other apparatus, it's all about training and getting to know each other. The porter for you, it's someone who's supposed to um, always be there to save you. So you always need to trust him with that. If you don't trust him, it can not end up well.
Yeah. Something in your subconscious can keep you back from doing what you have to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. The other question that I had that I didn't forget was I really wanted to hear about working with Drago, that creative process looks and feels like. Because you were talking about how in that creative process, there's so many of these talents and they're trying new things, as you're saying. So how does that work? Do they kind of set up the apparatus and then take the talent and say, okay, let's work people through this. Let's see how you feel on this.
Well, of of course, when they did the casting, they already know our main
Your main.
skills and what we can do. But because when you are a gymnast or acrobat, it's easy to teach you something similar. I am not a gymnast, I'm a tumbler. So for me, it was also different because, as you know, gymnasts, they do floor, they do rings, they do many different apparatuses. Me, I was just a tumbler, although at the moment I was already a realist and flyer in hand to hand. So that was for them. We had tumbling, that was the main goal to bring me there, and also a strap specialist. So yeah, it was for this particular La Pearl. They built a huge studio. They made a pool in the studio. It was before TV studio, just to teach us because we had 9 months or 9 months of training before we actually moved to real theater. So we were training first in a on-site facility before we start working on a proper stage. So we were not even sure how it's gonna look. No one was sure because design is one thing, but how it's gonna look in real life, it's always different. So yeah, we had our main apparatuses, but they try us all around through the schedule. It was always a head coach decision to put where to put me, what to try, and if he saw me on this, I'm good. He keeps me in this apparatus more than on the other one, of course, because we had around 65 artists, so had enough people to put in team A in one apparatus, team A on another apparatus. So we had like team A, team B, and through the creation, it was more clear for the directors, coaches, who will do what. And Dragon productions are always about house troupe and generalists, so you are always need to be able to couple different apparatus, not just one. So yeah.
Wow, that is so neat. I love hearing that. I'm sure a lot of people in the audience really love hearing about like that whole process of being that part of the creation where they, divvy you up into teams, try you on things, and if they feel like this could be something for you, they keep returning you, you know, bringing you into training for that. And you can,
Yes, totally.
yeah, like the mind, you know, the creative mind from the outside must be so interesting for them to go, okay, who should we put here, with what song, what music, with what lighting, with what kind of storyline.
The
That's neat.
song kind of these things were much later when the theater was ready. um, like I said, when we moved to the stage was a bit different that, for example, we expected. Tumbling track was a treadmill instead of air track, so we have to always adapt to many different things. Although definitely a creative process with Franco Dragon is something special, and definitely I will remember till my last days because I always wanted to do it. And yeah, if you ever are in Dubai, you definitely should see this theater because it's a piece of art. And just being there without any effects, it's already like mind blowing. So I would definitely recommend it. And having a water theater in the middle of the desert, it's also something amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So neat. So what is next for you? I know you're on holiday right now. What happens for you next? And what are the newest projects and aspirations for you?
So yeah, currently on holidays, I'm resting, recovering my body for the next season because I had very exhausting season with a lot of work. So recovery is also very important for me, and should be for every artist, because we need to be healthy. And if we are not healthy, we are not working. And if we are not working, we don't earn money. Simple as that. Because, like I said, I'm a freelancer, not on a contract, so it's a different kind of life. I have some projects next year. There is one of the first projects I will have in September is actually project again with Franco Dragon. I'm gonna do a new show. It's an event, but Franco is a director. We were chosen, me and my other friend that I used to do also Lapper with him. We were chosen by them to do an event on bungee straps. So I'm really looking forward to it because working with him is always something special. And in Dubai, it's always unexpected. It's the first thing what's gonna happen. But I have my like fixed dinner shows that I'm gonna perform with. But also last year we had Expo, so there was city was full of entertainment and many events. I also work on Expo last year, and this year there is a World Cup in Qatar, which is just by the border next to it. So it's also gonna be a lot of projects there. So I have a lot of inquiries, a lot of projects to come, but to exactly say what's gonna happen, I'm not sure yet. But definitely it's gonna be a lot. So I'm looking forward to next season and happy to be back performing, because without that it's hard for me. It's good to rest, it's good to see family, but I love my job, so can't wait to be back.
Yeah. Okay. So rest and recovery. What does that look like for you?
um, Now I didn't train for a while. I just started this week. I just do massages, physio sessions. I'm also a physiotherapist, so I know what to do with my body, how to treat it. I am healthy, so I have no issues. Just stretching and sauna, ice. Always ice is a good thing for the body, even if you are healthy. So those kind of things.
So rest and recovery for you, as someone who is used to performing, you know, very often, maybe sometimes 6 days a week. When you do take rest and recovery, like for right now, you said I have been training for a while. How long? Like how long do you stop training for before you go back?
I mean, I'm still active. I'm still doing a bit of cardio. I'm still, for example, riding a bicycle. But what I meant, I didn't do proper acrobatic training. My all my apparatus is in Dubai. I just have straps here, and I mean I have some equipment, but which I will also take to Dubai now with me. So I didn't do acrobatics for um, 1.5 weeks. For me, it's a lot. Trust me, to not do anything like that. But I just wanted to rest my body a little and to miss again the effort. You know, I'm already thinking like, oh, I really want to train. So it was not also physical rest, but also mental rest for me.
Yeah. So when you take, let's say, like 1.5 weeks or 2 weeks off of your apparatus, but you're still doing, as you're saying, cardio, biking, how does it feel when you then go back to your apparatus after a period like that?
Well, it's very important for me to do it step by step. I'm older now, 31, so it's good to I'm always doing everything step by step. So starting really slow with proper warm up, proper stretching, and just like this. I little in my body weight workout. I just see comment from my friend
Yeah.
right there.
He's calling you old.
We used to perform together on Expo. We had a lot of fun. She's from Australia. A bit pain in the ass, but miss her. So yeah. What was the question?
Oh,
Because that's my focus.
yeah, like coming back to training after like a 2 week break from your apparatus. As you're saying, you said like coming in step.
Yeah. So just step by step, I first start more with body weight workout, cardio kind of, like a video workout with just before I do go, especially on straps or pole, I need to be sure that all my body is warm and stretched, because it's really easy in our first trainings to get injured.
Yes. Speaking on that, curious, what does a warm up look like for you? Obviously, a warm up is going to be different for whatever apparatus you are going to be working on. But in general, like let's say you are performing, I don't know, performing on straps. How long is your warm up process usually for a show?
Between half an hour to 1 hour. Depends of the space I have. Definitely, I warm up every little muscle and joint of my body, starting from my head to my toes. First, making it all warm, working on my fascia, not only on the muscles to stretch them. And I always include my handstand training, even if I do straps or pole, because it's a good body warm up as well.
Yeah, that pushing, even if you're going to be pulling, the pushing is important to have as kind of like a, to keep everything working. Okay, cool. So question, you have all these comments, your friend, you're saying old. So 10 years, where do you
I'm
want?
not old. I think I'm in a peak of my age.
Yes.
She's not right.
I know.
Getting older, as we all do, but no, I'm definitely feeling better than I was feeling 10 years ago, because I know how to take care of my body, what I can do and how I can do it, how to warm up, how to cool down, which is also very important after shows and trainings to be included. I will perform until I'm definitely healthy and still enjoying it. And my goal is to going more with age into creative sides, to be a creative coordinator, director, or aerial choreographers, because I already do little events like this, like singular, as I'm still focusing on performing. So this is not my priority yet, but it will be. So for now, I'm performing until I can, until I'm still loving it, and I think I will always. So I think 10 years easy, I can do it.
Yeah. That's so neat. Yep. Performing and then moving into that creative side as well. So you did mention cool down. Curious about that. Tell me about cool down after a show.
Well, cool down is also a little stretch, but more passive than active stretching, and especially important during this doing that, it's breathing. So this is what I most focus on during the cool down. Yeah. And I, of course, I stretch the parts of my body mostly that I were actually active during the act. So if it's a pole, I will stretch definitely my forearms that are really working with my grip, and my shoulders and lower back. which actually works on every apparatus I do because handstands is the same. So my forearms are always the part of the body that it's quite tight.
Yeah, they
But
get
also, I use a roller. I have acupressure mat, like on a kind of plastic needles, if you know what it is. So I use this one. And a really good thing is hot, cold shower as well, which I also do. Sometimes it's hard in Dubai because we don't have much cold water. Imagine, yeah. But now in Poland, I can do it. Yesterday was super hot. Today is raining. In Dubai, I see rain once a year, maybe.
Let's say you're performing, in Dubai, in comparison to performing maybe in Egypt or in Poland. How does the weather change and the humidity change your apparatus?
So that during because there is just winter and summer, and even winter in Dubai is still a summer like everywhere else, but summer in Dubai it's really really hot and really really humid. So between, I would say, June to August, it's can be super humid. Of course, when the most of the venues are indoor, so it doesn't really makes a problem that much. But I do also outdoor venues as well. So at this moment, it's very important for me to have either a liquid chalk or a spray for my hands to feel more comfortable and more confident. So especially in aerial acts like aerial pole, this is important because humidity. I tried, for example, pole with the silicone, but for me, with humidity, I was sweating a lot. So I needed, for me, tape is crucial to put on the pole. So yeah. I would say pole is the most problematic with the humidity.
Yeah.
Straps are fine, handstand fine. Also hand to hand can be a bit, but if you have a liquid chalk, it can be fine as well. And good grip with your partner, and that's fine.
Yeah. Cool. So fascinating. So tell me about when you are not performing, when you are not training. What do you like to do?
I read a lot of books actually, so this is what I like to do, and spend time with friends. Dubai, I like beach clubs, so it all depends of my mood. But I read a lot of books.
What kind of books do you prefer to read?
Currently, I'm reading Witcher. I don't know if you know. So yeah, it's a Netflix series as well. It's actually Polish book. I read it already in the past, but now I started again because I'm a big fan of it. But it's not only fantasy. I also read like criminals and also some psychological books as well. So it all depends. But to reset my brain and rest a bit, I prefer those kind of books.
Yeah, just totally take your brain to another land, huh?
Yes, totally. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for spending this time with us today. It was really
Thank you so
fascinating to hear about, a day in the life, and also how I loved hearing about the journey through your different apparatus and how lucky you are to have been working with people who have been such huge names in the creative process of, major this events. So cool. We will be cheering you on and continuing.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
You too. Have a wonderful
Thank
holiday, and we'll be watching you when you get back to it.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're
Bye
welcome.
bye. Ciao.